Welcome to maths class and your teacher Black Adam. So when you're dealing with 40 degrees, so we need to know the coordinates, and then we're given that we have 220 degrees without a calculator, so we need to find its equivalence. That's 90 degrees north, east, 180 degrees south, 270 degrees. That's the coordinate. And now from there we have sine 180 degrees plus 40 degrees. So that means 180 plus, so it's on the third quad and it's negative for sign on that quad. It's called the cos table that we're using. And then we have that means sine 40 is is p, so minus sine 40 is negative p. And the second part we need to find that, that's complementary, so it means that two angles add to 90 degrees. So which means if it's cos 50 degrees, then that will mean that it's going to be sine 40 degrees squared as well. Then from there, it's going to be sine cos 50 degrees squared is going to be sine 40 degrees squared. So sine squared 40 degrees. And we know that sine 40 degrees is squared is equals to p, so that's going to give us p squared. So that's the answer for 5.1.2. So 5.1.3, so first we need to find, cos, so we know that sine 40 degrees is p, that means it's p over 1, and then that's y over r. So we draw the graph there, and then y-x, and then we have that triangle that's 40 degrees, and we know that our x and then r is 1 and y is p. So we use Pythagoras. Pythagoras means it's x squared is equals to, y squared, r squared is equals to x squared plus y squared, so which means we have 1 squared is equals to x squared plus p squared. And then x squared is 1 minus p squared, and x is going to be plus or minus root 1 minus p squared. And q1, and then we know that, okay, so it's positive, then that means it's on q1. Now we have cos 40 degrees, it's going to be x over r, so our x has been determined, and that's root 1 minus p squared, which is positive, and over 1. Then we can now go and answer 5.1.3. cos is even component, so that means cos negative 80 is going to give us cos positive 80. So that means it's cos 40 degrees, because we have to work with 40 degrees is what we have. So it's cos 40 degrees plus 40 degrees, double angle. And we need to work with the 40. We know that's so that means we have cos squared 40 degrees plus minus sine squared 40 degrees. And then what we need to do is just substitute the values, so it's going to be root 1 minus p squared, all of that squared, minus p squared, and cancel all that out, so we have 1 minus p squared minus p squared, so that's going to be 1 minus 2p squared. We're done with 5.1.3. and now we look at the next question where it says 5.2.1. we are given the expression above there, and then we need to prove if so we're going to use the right hand side. The right hand side, that times that gives us sine x, that times that gives us minus sine x squared cos x, and that times that gives us positive cos x, and that times that gives us minus sine x cos squared x. All of that over cos x. So that means we take all the terms above there and then make them over the denominator. So sine x over cos x, and that's minus sine squared x cos x all over cos x, and then that's gonna be plus cos x over cos x, and then it's minus sine x cos x squared over cos x. And then we look at it here, we have 10 around, the factor 10, so we gotta look at how we can make 10 from each of the terms. So that's sine x over cos x, that's tan x, and then that is going to be cancelled, and that's going to be minus sine squared x, or the x, the cos, and that into that is 1 over 1 is 1, is plus 1 minus. Now our third part, we need to be creative. Taking that part, we need to create 10 there, so that's going to be sine x over cos x, and all of that we multiply it by cos squared x, and then okay, so that becomes that, and then now we have 10x multiplied by cos squared x. Okay, then from there we have okay, so that's going to be that part there, so we need to regroup, so we're going to rearrange. It's going to be 10x minus, okay, we check down the last part, minus 10x cos squared x, and then that's that part, and then we have plus minus sine squared x, which is plus 1, so that's that part. Okay, then from there we're going to factor 10, then we're going to factor 10 out, so we have 10x bracket, that will be 1, and that will be cos squared x, so that's the other side. So there we know that it's going to be 1 minus sine squared x. Then we know from the squared identities that cos squared x plus sine squared x is equals to 1. You need to memorize that so that you can see it on the formula, and then cos squared x is going to be 1 minus sine squared x, which means we have to replace the last part, and we're done, and this is our final stage right now. So it's left hand side, which is that side, is equivalent to the right hand side. As you see, we finalize that, so get the right hand side, so it's equals to that, so that's gonna be 10x bracket 1 minus minus cos squared x, and then all of that becomes cos x, cos squared x, so that's going to be plus cos squared x. So that's it, we found exactly what is on the right to be exactly what is on the left, so that's proved. So we move on to the next question, and we need to know that 5.2.2 to be undefined. So how do we undefine that? So cos x should not be equal to 0. So because cos x should not be equal to 0, then which means we just do that as let's pretend cos x is 0, as cos x is 0, then x is going to be inverse of cos bracket 0. Using a calculator there, we have cos 0 degrees gives us 90, so x is going to be 90 degrees, but because we have a range from negative 180 to positive 180, so we can also include the negative 90 degrees as well. So those are the possible answers that we have. Next question, 5.3.1, we have that one there, given the expression, so we need to give it with that calculator to cos 2x, so that's going to be cos 150 degrees is going to be cos 180 degrees minus 30 degrees, and then takes us there 180 minus, so it's going to be positive for sine, then that means that we have sine 30 degrees. So sine 30 degrees, we need to find out its equivalent in terms of that triangle. So we have 60 degrees there, we have 30 degrees special angle 1, and we have 2, we have root 3. So sine is 1/2, so that means that we have sine is opposite, it's opposite over hypotenuse, so that satisfies for 30 degrees, so that's half. So we have sine 150 degrees plus cos squared x minus 1 all over 2. So we need to put it in terms of cos 2x. So we just need to be creative there. So what we're supposed to do, I just said, okay, so that will be half plus cos squared x minus 1 all over 2, and then I add up half plus -1. It gives me cos squared x minus half over 2. So that means that we have multiplied by 2 both sides, 2 as numerator and denominator, so it's 1, so it won't change anything. So it's 2 multiplied by cos squared x minus half, so that's all up, and 2 also multiplied by 2. So we know that we have cos 2x is going to be cos, those are the formulas you need to know. You check on the formula sheet. So it's cos squared x minus sine squared x, and it's also equivalent to 1 minus 2 sine squared x, or it is 2 cos squared x minus minus 1. And then we see from there that, okay, so when multiplying that's how I came up multiplying by 2 to get us that equivalent. So we have 2 cos squared x, and then negative half times 2 give us -1, and 2 times 2 is 4. So that's our final answer. Then our answer is going to be cos 2x over 4, or you can just say it's quarter cos 2x, 1/4 to cos 2x. So that's for 5.2.2. And then what we do in 5.2.1, we need to find the equivalent of that expression if it is equals to 1/25. And now what we do, we just say, okay, that's cos, that becomes cos 2x over 4 is equals to 1/25. And then to get rid of the 4, we multiply by 4/1. So it's going to be multiplied by 4/1 and multiplied by 4/1 as well. So that means we have we're going to have cos 2x is equals to 4/25. Okay, and then from there we need to solve for cos 2x is equals to inverse of cos 4/25. Once again, we have to use a calculator, and that is the inverse of cos, and it's 4 divided by 12 give us 80.78. So that's gonna give us 80.78 degrees. So because the general formula, that's gonna be plus k multiplied by 360 degrees. So that's a revolution. So we're gonna have many revolutions of them expressing different values. So dividing both sides by 2, that will give us 80.79 plus k multiple of 360 divided by 2, and then we have x is going to be 40.40 degrees plus multiple of 180 degrees. And then we draw the angles there just to find out the other alternative angle as well. That's 0, 360, and then that's 180 degrees east, south, that's 270 degrees. So what we do, we draw a line, just a line that passes through the center. Yeah, just a line that passes through the center. So that's our 40.40 degrees there, and then we also have another angle that moves from that side of the line, so that's going to be 180 plus 40, so that is going to be 40.40 degrees multiples of 180, so that's also going to be 180 degrees plus 40.40 degrees multiplied by k 180 degrees, so that gives us x is going to be 180 plus 40.40, that gives us 220.40, so that's 220.40 degrees plus k multiple of 180 degrees. By multiple I mean that k is in value of an integer, and then from there we have k element of integer. That's what it is. I just want to thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to follow or subscribe. And it's me, your tutor, Black Adam. Thank you.